always wonderful when an artist finds their way, but it's even more of an inspiration when they build a road for others to follow. Adrian Mitchell is a dancer who is wanting to open those doors for other dancers to be able to have the same opportunity. So nice to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me. It's such a pleasure to be here.
The reason we're here is because of DanceInColor, inspiring other young dancers of color to pursue the art.
We created DanceInColor, which provides grants and scholarships and free educational programs targeting underserved communities, and build the programs that might allow young kids like I was to feel like they might have a chance to have a professional career in the professional ballet industry. Very rarely did I have other, black dancers in my class. It was like if there was a black dancer in my class, it was like there was one. So that was hard, and the art form still has a long ways to go, but I think there's quite a few people that are really making the effort. Ballet's hard, especially in America. There's a lot of ideas about it, misconceptions and perceptions that people have of what it means to be a male ballet dancer. So there was a lot of, unfortunately, bullying in school. It was just difficult. So I stopped for quite a while, and I took a big kind of hiatus from the art. And then when I turned 13, I really got, dug back in and got myself on the professional track, which eventually took me to schools around the world.
It's hard enough to be a dancer. It's hard enough to have done what you have done already, but why did you turn around? Why are you reaching your hand back?
It was just, I remember the struggle that I went through, and I have a single mom who worked so hard to make sure I could have the training, and so I've experienced it firsthand. So to be able to provide the opportunity or to create some relief possibly for these young dancers is so incredibly rewarding. When you see the effect that you can have on these young people who are becoming professional dancers or possibly not, there's still so much value in studying ballet. We call it grace and grit. Even if you don't become a professional dancer, ballet training creates such a sense of discipline and a sense of self, which is so important to go into the real world.
Okay, so your professional career led you around the world, and ultimately you ended up in Russia.
Yes.
And one of the most prestigious dance companies in Russia. How did you get there, and what was that experience?
So my mom thought it was a weird kind of love of Russian culture and dance and art, like Dostoevsky and Pushkin, things that the average 8th grader wouldn't really be interested in.
Or be able to pronounce.
Yeah, I probably couldn't back then. But there was always that love of the dancers that were coming out of there. Of course, Nureyev and Baryshnikov. I mean, I don't think any young male dancer doesn't idolize Nureyev and Baryshnikov. And so I was invited by a man named Oleg Vinogradov, who during the Cold War and after, when the Kirov Ballet was coming over on their tours, and that was kind of, at that point, one of the biggest cultural exchanges between the countries. It was run by Oleg Vinogradov. He was the director of the Kirov Ballet for over 20 years. And he and I met each other in Florida. He invited me to visit Russia as a guest performer just for a few weeks. And I was invited to join the graduating class of the Vaganova School. I was making history, although I didn't think about it until I was there, but making history as the first black graduate of the school, which has been around for over 250 years. So it was a special opportunity, and the training was kind of irreplaceable. It was such a special moment to be able to study at such a history dance institution. I couldn't pass it up. And then I graduated from Vaganova School and subsequently joined the Mikhailovsky Theater, which is one of the top 3 companies in Russia, where we got to dance, a lot of incredible repertoire, which some of it you don't even get to perform or even see in America. So it was really a special opportunity and experience.
And life changed for you and your wife, who is
Yes.
also a breathtakingly gorgeous dancer.
Thank you.
With the war. And,
Yeah.
you know, you've spoken, a lot of people experienced an enormous amount of tragedy and continue to do so with the war, but your lives changed.
Yeah.
How did you adjust in your mind's eye when you came back? Because you were raised here in Los Angeles, so
Yeah.
you know, in essence, you're coming home. Your wife is not coming home.
Yeah.
She's coming to a brand new experience. But how has that been internally, and how have you been able to, you know, realize that your life will not be the same, but you can choose the life you want?
Yeah. You know, it was definitely extremely sad for us. And I always kind of mention that as hard as we had it, many people had it so much harder. But, you know, we came to a place which was, for me, familiar, but I had never worked in Los Angeles. So it was a lot of people to meet, a lot of work to build, you know, carve out a spot for myself in the industry, which in LA is not as robust as it is in Russia or New York or European countries. You know, the dance industry, especially ballet, here is not as huge of a deal as it was in Russia, or even as New York as it would be. So it was hard. It was a lot of kind of trying to kind of create a path in uncharted territory. You know, it was not a lot of just kind of filling spots and taking positions. So we had to really kind of figure out, what are we building here? Do we want to build it here? And having built DanceInColor with my co-founders since 2020, made it kind of some kind of nest that I had in LA of people and work. But yeah, it was definitely shocking to move back. All of a sudden we were just here.
Why did you leave? I know you've been asked this a bazillion times, but why did you leave?
We left because a friend of mine said it so well. Something was happening that we couldn't stand for, and to stay would have been almost endorsing it or saying that it was okay, allowing it. It was just kind of very easy to make the decision to go, and it happened very suddenly. I think it was like 48 hours. We had 7 years of our lives packed up and out.
What are your plans? What are your hopes and dreams for DanceInColor?
Yeah, so we have this free program called Dance to Dreams, which is co-produced by Westside Ballet of Santa Monica and DanceInColor. And I work at both organizations, so it works perfectly that I can kind of bring them together, because Westside has the studios and the outreach, and we have, you know, all the experience with this, I call it IDEA, inclusion, diversity, equity, and accessibility work. So we create this program where we offer them transportation, we give them lunch, and we teach them ballet. And so that's something that we're building out into weeks, and possibly considering having one in New York and one in Los Angeles. But then also just more scholarships, continue supporting dancers and building these programs that really can change the face of dance.
All right, and you still perform?
I do. I perform only when it's really fun and it's what I want to do. You know, dancing is takes such a toll on your body, especially if you're doing it like I'm doing it intermittently. All of a sudden it's time to get in shape for a show, and not physical shape, but like get your body, your legs and your feet ready to go on stage. But yeah, I've also been getting into administration, and I'm doing that, you know, through DanceInColor and through Westside, trying to, you know, also bolster Los Angeles's ballet community and footprint in the dance world as a whole.
Great idea. Okay, now if people want to reach out and help or learn more about DanceInColor, the best route is? DanceInColor.com. Well, congratulations, Adrian. I mean, it's incredibly inspiring in so many ways, not just to watch you perform, but to see what you're doing for future dancers as well. So thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been such a pleasure.
Good.